Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that is up so early, y'all. Oh, my goodness. But we got a big day today. We're going to go to the Summer Games Fest play days and play some games, so that should be a real treat, but it is too early. This morning in the news, what is cloud gaming? Over on IGN, they've got an article about how later this year, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers can gain access to the world of streaming select games they own online. And here's the fun bit, even if they aren't on Game Pass. While no specific titles have been mentioned, and select clearly means we can expect cries of disappointment that that one game you really love isn't included. But speaking in a briefing for media, CVP of Gaming Experiences and Platforms, Ashley McKissick, said gamers are not shy with their feedback, which is awesome. And so one of the things they told us, it's like, hey, we would love to be able to stream games that we own, even if they're not in the Game Pass catalog. So this is Xbox listening to players, which is great. And while I'm sure, like we mentioned earlier, players would love to have any game they own be available, I think this is a nice start. Could this be the first time you see gamers actually embrace cloud gaming and not just ridicule it? I don't know. It depends on what games they have when the service launches and what games they follow up with and how quickly they get those follow-ups out. Who knows? But I'm eager to see. Meanwhile, yesterday was Jeff Keighley's big Key 3 moment with the Summer Games Fest. And my goodness, there was a lot of interesting news. I was busy at the time. I didn't get a chance to watch it live. So I went and watched a bunch later. And wow, there is so much to talk about. Where do I even start? Is it Guile showing up in Street Fighter 6 looking amazing? Do we talk about finally getting the first footage of Witchfire, the dark fantasy shooter that the last trailer we saw for was in 2017? What about the brand new squad-based Aliens game? We didn't really see any gameplay, but Aliens, man! Then there was the Saints Row Boss Factory that I'm sure will get a lot of you hype for me bringing back the boss for whenever Crendor and I rendezvous with the Saints again. And then Midnight Suns, which is still coming out later this year. There's just so much to talk about. But any longtime viewer knows that I want to start with the Callisto Protocol presentation that we got, because man, am I excited for this game. I don't know if you can tell, but I love me some Dead Space, and this fills that hole in my soul that has been empty for far too long. I really hope this one is good, and at least from what we've seen, it definitely captures the spirit of Dead Space with the slow, tense exploration of dark hallways, and then, bam, monster. Love it. Speaking of horror, we then got a trailer for Bluebird Team's follow-up to two games I absolutely love, Layers of Fears. It appears that this time around, I guess you play as the daughter from the previous games, or perhaps other people in the family timeline. I'm not quite sure, but obviously the team has been honing their amazing style. And look at this game. It looks beautiful. That Unreal, baby. It even looks like they're doing some updated graphic versions of callbacks to the previous games. And while I'll leave it in the comments for you to tell me what your favorite trailer was, I will say the one that got me unexpectedly hype was Nightingale. Something about that art design has me. I'm not too sure about the gameplay or mechanics because I've never been that great at survival style games. You have to like build and stuff, but this could be the one that gets me to give it a real shot. Call it a old streamer's intuition, but I have a feeling that this one could be pretty big on Twitch. I'm imagining lots of great clip fodder. Anyway, like I said, there was so much more to cover, and you know, it's only a 5-minute show. There's only so much I can do. That's what the comments are for. Also, we'll talk about it in the future when we get closer to the releases of those games, because right now, it's time for your Cred Minute.
Everybody, and welcome back to the Cred Minute, my once-a-week segment where I get to talk about whatever I want for a minute. This week, we're talking about gaming shows or conventions, whatever you want to call them. And I thought I wouldn't care about E3 being gone, but I actually kind of do, and here's the reason. I think that with E3, you were able to be like, oh, all these different game companies have come together at this one location to talk about their games, right? You're like, oh, here comes Microsoft, here comes Sony, here comes Nintendo, here comes Ubisoft, right? Everybody. And then just a bunch of indie devs. Like, there was so many things. And now it feels a little scattered. Like, there's so many different things out there. And then they're like, oh, here's this, like, Summer Game Fest. And I'm like, what's happening at the... I don't even know what's happening at the... Like, is this Sony games? Or is the Sony games going to be happening at the thing? Or is Summerfest? And there's, like, OTK did a thing, but I think that was more indie dev stuff. I don't even know. I don't know when things are happening, what's happening. All I know is I liked when it was all under one big umbrella because I actually knew what was happening and when it was happening. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm old. Thanks for the watching, listening. See ya.
Thanks, Crendor. Don't know why I did that. I figured I should do something with my hands because last time I didn't, and some of y'all were like, Jesse, the bit's failing, and it was never a good bit to begin with, but here we are. Also, shout out to Card Shark. It's a great game. Anyway, speaking of great, patreon.com/Jesse Cox, where you can hang out with amazing people like Lindsay Burge, Lassay, Antonin, and Rich Og. That's it for the show. See y'all Monday. Bye, everybody.